Okay, hello, my name is Gary, and I'm a science teacher here at Korea International School. And what I'm doing today is showing you how to use SiteMaestro to create websites for your students. And you need a couple things for this. Number one is that you need a roster that has your students' name and email addresses. And the second thing you need is a website that you built with Google Sites. It needs to be in the same domain of the students. So what I have is a website I'm going to use to publish some of our work for the world to see, and also for student-led conferences. And I just have little pages here for some of the different units we have. And making the site was probably about 90% of the work. But using SiteMaestro, which is an add-on that is really cool, allows you to share that and give sort of administrative oversight to those sites. So I'm here in a blank spreadsheet. I'm just going to call this sites roster. I've already installed this, so you'll see SiteMaestro. But if you don't have it installed, you're going to have to go get add-ons. And then in the search bar here, go SiteMaestro. But once we have that, you'll have it here. It'll say launch. It'll ask for some permissions, and then you're going to launch it and get it set up. So what SiteMaestro does is it basically takes a website and it copies that website for every student on a spreadsheet. So the first step is going to say select a roster, and I've already done this before, but I'm going to create a new roster, and I'm going to do it in the spreadsheet. So I'm going to do it right here. And since I know I'm going to do these students, I'm just going to copy and paste their names, email addresses. So it says now that verify the roster. It's created these headings that say first, last name, and email. And so I'm just going to go down there and paste them in there. So pretty easy. And after I do that, I hit refresh. The other thing I'm going to do is give it a unique name. So I'm just going to call it grade 6 F block sites roster. By the way, setting sites up is something you probably want to do in the second or third week of school, because sometimes students' schedules get shuffled around, and you want to basically make sure that you don't kind of create sites for certain blocks and stuff like that. The next thing is you want to search for existing sites. And as I said, I've already created this website here, and I'm just going to copy and paste the URL. And basically, you're going to search existing sites. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to skip this step. And paste the URL of the site that you want to be used as a template. So here's what I have. And you can decide how you want students to look at this. I'm going to make them owners. And another thing is, do you want to have this publicly accessible or just searchable for domain? Some parents are concerned about internet privacy. And so I'm just going to do this today. I can also choose to change this later. But what I want to do is just make this accessible and viewable by only other students, but they can also show this to their parents later on. And then the last thing I'm going to do is decide how I want to name this. And so right now the $, first name and last name, is just a quick name. Whatever is in the first name and last name sort of column will be how the site is named. And so after I've done that, it looks pretty good. I hit save and continue. So what's going to start to do is create these headings here that will make URLs for the websites, but also give a unique naming convention on that. I also have to authorize this. I'll reload. Once you've done this already, you don't have to do it again. So I've done this and close that tab. It takes a second for that to happen. And once that does, I think it will happen again. There it is. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to close that. And the last thing I'm going to do is create sites. So last thing it does, just make sure is that this is what you want to do for your sites, and it'll create a site URL that'll just be instantly clickable. So you as a teacher can kind of come in here and say, I want to visit this kid's site and this kid's, and this kid's. So I chose this group because it's my smallest group of students, and it'll take only just probably about a minute or so to run a site for each of them versus like 20 kids. But when I click here, it'll take me to the site that was created for that kid. And so I can go and monitor the work that they're doing. But as soon as this last student here has a site created, I'll show you what the administrative oversight lets you do as a teacher. Okay, so now that we have that, what I can do is enforce sharing visibility settings. And this just gives you a drop-down list of a lot of different features that you might want to use if you're using sites for student portfolios and such like this. This is just a little afternote with a status here. So just going to make sure that that's visible only to our domain. That means that students only within our school can look at this. And as I said earlier, if you have like a school or parents that are really nervous about having their students be online, and I guess that there's just cause with that. Just start with maybe this, which kind of protects the students a little bit. But also, you as a teacher can make sure that students are practicing etiquette and netiquette online within the class. Maybe it's before you want to partner with some classes from other contacts that might have blogs or websites, and you guys can read each other's work and comment on each other's work. So in that way, it really can help kind of connect classrooms around the world. But for today's purposes, I'm just going to set it like this. So the last thing I want to show you, and then I'll come to the end of this, is that what you can do is check out the site management tools. And this is really cool because you as a teacher can refresh the last time of edits. So if you're using this, for assessment, I'm just going to drop down here. I can see like when the most recent edits were by students. I can also get collaborators. I can add collaborators. I can also change the student role. So if students are leaving the school, maybe you want them in a certain role, like owners, to where they can, like, for example, save this to another domain, or remove collaborators. But when I click on one site, I'll just kind of click over here, like the student's website here. We see the website here has been renamed with their name here, and they have all the tabs here, which we use for our units to study, for notes, projects, writing, and final projects. So that's SiteMaestro in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks a lot.